All right, everyone. Get ready for our deep dive today.
Yeah.
We're going back to Woodsboro.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the 2022 requel,
Well.
Scream,
Oh.
also known as Scream 5.
Right.
These reboot sequel hybrids.
Yeah.
They're so popular these days.
They're everywhere.
I know.
It's interesting because this film, it actually calls itself a requel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, almost like it's winking at the audience, you know?
Yeah.
It's very self-aware.
Yeah.
It acknowledges that whole trend of requels.
Right.
But then it also moves the story forward.
Okay.
So 25 years have passed since the original Woodsboro murders.
Wow.
And guess what?
What?
Ghostface is back.
Of course.
But this time, it's not just about a new batch of victims. You know, you can't have a Scream movie without...
Wait.
Of course not.
Gail and Dewey.
The original trio?
Exactly.
They're back.
They are back.
They are the bridge between the old and new. Yeah, and their presence just adds this whole other layer of history and baggage.
Especially Dewey.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's a shadow of his former self.
He really is.
You know, he's like a visual representation of what lasting trauma can do from these events, you know. Makes you wonder if anyone ever truly escapes Woodsboro, you know.
It really does.
Unscathed.
Without some scars.
Right.
Yeah.
And his fate in this film.
Oh, boy.
Well, let's just say it's a turning point for the whole franchise.
It is.
But we'll get to that later.
Okay.
So let's meet the new generation, right?
Okay.
The new generation facing off against Ghostface.
All right.
We've got Sam and Tara Carpenter.
Okay.
They're sisters.
Sisters. Uh-huh.
And they're thrown into this whole bloody mess.
Yeah, they get thrown right in.
And this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Sam is Billy Loomis's daughter.
That's right.
So
this revelation just connects the new storyline directly back to the original.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
It adds that layer of twisted family drama and this inherited legacy of violence that Sam she has to grapple with.
Right.
It's heavy stuff.
Talk about upping the stakes.
I know, right?
But what really hooked me was how Scream 5 goes beyond just being a slasher film, you know?
Right.
It's super meta in its commentary on the horror genre itself.
It really is.
You know, like how there's this rise of elevated horror.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Films like Hereditary and The Witch.
Yeah, those are great examples.
Scream 5 tackles that head on.
It does. It's incredibly self-aware.
Right.
Like, it knows the genre has evolved, and it plays with that.
Okay.
But it still delivers on those classic slasher elements.
Right.
So you're on the edge of your seat. But you're also, you know, you're thinking about how horror has changed. You're kind of, you know, reflecting on it at the same time.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a cool mix.
So, okay, let's unmask
the
new Ghostface.
Right.
Or rather, unmask
Yeah.
their motive.
Okay.
Ready for this?
I'm ready.
It's toxic fandom.
Oh, wow.
These killers, they are obsessed with the Stab franchise.
Oh, right.
You know, those in-universe movies?
Yeah, the movie's based on
the Woodsboro murders.
Yes, exactly.
And right from the start,
the
killers embody this toxic fandom. You know?
They do. They really do.
They see themselves as the rightful auteurs of the Stab universe.
Yeah.
They criticize how the films have strayed from the realistic horror of the original.
It's chilling how they reflect a very real and sometimes dangerous side of fandom in today's world.
It really is.
Yeah, it's a little too real, maybe.
Makes you think.
It does.
For sure.
So they want to control the narrative.
They want to inject their own vision.
That's right.
It really makes you think about the fine line between passionate fandom and, well, obsession.
Right, yeah.
It's like the film is holding up a dark mirror.
It is, yeah.
Certain corners of the internet.
Corners of the internet, yeah. Those dark corners.
Right.
It's, you know, it's asking how far would some fans go to exert their influence on the things that they love?
Yeah.
You know, Scream 5 doesn't shy away from that question.
It doesn't.
No, it digs right in.
And it's not just the story that's meta.
Oh, right.
The film style is this fascinating blend of classic Scream vibes and modern elements.
Right.
You see that especially in Tara's opening attack.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It plays with the expectations that were set by the original film, and it subverts them.
Yeah.
In ways that are both surprising and, dare I say, refreshing.
You can say refreshing.
Okay.
I think it is.
So it's like they're nodding to the past.
Exactly.
And also saying, hey, we can do this our own way, too.
We're going to put our own spin on it.
Right.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
And the filmmakers,
Yeah.
I got to give them credit for finding a way to honor the legacy, but also make something that feels contemporary.
It's a tough
thing to do.
Yeah, it is.
But I think they pulled it off.
Okay, before we move on,
I
want to circle back to Dewey for a second.
Right.
We know he doesn't make it out of this one alive.
Unfortunately, no.
But his death is more than just a shock value moment,
I agree, yeah.
You see Duty's story.
Yeah.
It's tragic.
It is. He's a broken man, haunted by the past. I mean, he is a walking embodiment of the scars that these events have left behind.
Yeah.
And I think his death signals a definitive shift in the franchise.
Right.
It's a recognition
that
some wounds, they never truly heal.
It's heartbreaking, but it also adds this layer of depth. And weight. To the whole film.
It does.
It's like the filmmakers are saying the stakes are real. No one is safe.
Yeah.
Not even the heroes.
Not even the heroes.
Ooh, that's intense.
It is intense.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It's fascinating.
It is.
How Scream 5 uses the whole Stab franchise.
Right.
To comment on fandom.
Yeah.
These killers, they aren't just obsessed with the movies.
Right.
They're obsessed with controlling the narrative.
They want to be in charge.
Yeah, they think they can do a better job.
Exactly.
Make it more real.
Yeah, they represent this kind of extreme end of fandom.
Oh, yeah.
Where admiration just twists into this desire to dictate what happens, how the story unfolds. It is a little scary. It makes you think about, how some fans feel this sense of ownership. Over the things they love.
Right.
And the lengths they'll go to.
Exactly.
To exert their influence.
It's like they're criticizing the Stab movies. For becoming too outlandish. Like straying from the original's grip.
Right. Like they've lost their way.
Yeah. And it's like...
And you know what? That kind of mirrors some real world arguments.
Yeah, for sure.
Within the horror community.
Absolutely.
This isn't just a clever gimmick or anything. Right. This is like... The film is forcing us to confront this tension in the horror community, you know? Like, are we clinging to the past?
Yeah.
Or can we embrace evolution without losing the heart of what makes horror great?
I feel like Scream 5 itself.
It does.
Walking that tightrope,
It's trying.
It's giving us those classic slasher elements. The mass killer, the jump scares, the suspense.
All the good stuff.
All that.
Right.
But it's also diving into these deeper themes like trauma.
Yeah.
And the psychological torment of his characters.
And we can't forget about the visuals.
Oh, the visuals, yeah.
To film, it blends those classic Scream vibes with a more modern look.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Remember Tara's opening attack?
Oh, yeah.
Prime example
of
how Scream 5 subverts those established expectations while still feeling like a true Scream film.
You get those, iconic wide shots of Woodsboro.
Yes, those are great.
Yeah, and the clever use of shadows and reflections. Yeah. But then there are these moments of intense, almost visceral violence that feel very modern.
They do. It's a balancing act,
Yeah.
And the filmmakers, they really pull it off.
I think so too.
They capture the spirit of the original while updating it for a new generation of horror fans.
It's not easy.
It's not easy
to pay homage without feeling...
stale or derivative.
Yeah, stale or derivative.
They managed to do both.
So speaking of paying homage,
okay,
let's talk more about Sydney and Gale.
Yeah, we got to talk about them.
We already talked about Dewey's tragic end.
Yeah.
But those two come back.
They come back.
And they have this weight on their shoulders.
They do.
Like they're carrying the burden of their past.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Sydney and Gale.
Yeah.
They're almost like war veterans.
Oh, wow.
Pulled back into a battle they thought they'd left behind.
Right.
Their weariness.
Yeah.
Their cynicism. It's palpable.
It really is.
But there's this underlying heroism.
Yeah.
This refusal to let others suffer the same fate
And they end up becoming mentors.
They do.
To the new generation.
Especially Sam.
Yeah, especially Sam. It's like a passing of the torch, you know?
Yeah, like
acknowledging that
the cycle of violence continues.
Right.
But choosing to fight back.
Yeah.
Choosing to guide others.
Yeah.
Through the darkness.
And it's really powerful.
It is.
Especially when you consider Sam's journey as Billy Loomis's daughter.
I mean, talk about baggage, right?
Oh, I know.
She is wrestling with her own nature, haunted by her father's legacy.
Like, are we shaped by our blood?
Right.
Or do we have the power
to choose
a different path?
That's the question.
And the hallucinations that she has.
Oh, yeah.
Add this whole
psychological thriller element. Or it makes you question what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
Is it real or is it just in her head?
Right.
You know, it's really, really effective.
Is she destined to follow in her father's footsteps?
Right. Is it nature versus nurture?
And then there's her relationship with her sister.
Right. Tara, who kind of represents like this innocence.
Yeah.
You know, a vulnerability that Ghostface often targets.
Right.
It's almost a reflection of Sydney and her friend Tatum.
Oh, okay.
In the original, you know, that protective instinct is there, but it's amplified by Sam's own internal struggle.
There's this constant tension, like this fear that she might succumb to the darkness.
To that darkness.
That seems to be woven into her DNA.
It's like, is it in her blood?
But at the same time, she's defiant.
She is.
She refuses to be defined.
Right.
By her father's actions.
Exactly. It's like a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, you know? That ability to choose hope.
Yeah.
Even when faced with this horrifying legacy.
Powerful message.
It is powerful.
Amidst all the
blood and terror.
Yeah.
You know, it's hopeful in a way.
So before we wrap up this part of the deep dive, I'm curious.
Yeah.
What stands out most to you?
Oh, that's a good question.
Is it the meta commentary on horror? The toxic fandom angle?
Yeah.
Or maybe the way the characters grapple with their pasts? Yeah, it's really something, right?
It is. It really is.
How it manages to juggle all those elements.
All of those different things.
The slasher thrills.
Right.
The meta commentary, the character drama. It's a lot to pack into one film.
It is. And it definitely got people talking.
It really did.
Which is, I guess, what they wanted.
Yeah.
You know, we can't wrap up this this deep dive without talking about the critical reception.
Oh, the critical reception.
Yeah. Scream 5 got some mixed reviews.
Yeah, it did.
It did. Some critics they loved it.
Oh, yeah.
They loved the blend of the nostalgia and the new ideas.
Yeah.
But then others thought it relied a little too heavily on those, you know, those self-aware winks and nods to the audience. Like it was playing it safe.
Right.
A little bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know what I mean?
I do.
There was this sense from some that, you know, it didn't quite reach the same level of innovation as the original Scream.
Yeah, but the original Scream was...
It's groundbreaking.
Yeah.
It revitalized the whole slasher genre.
Right. It really did.
And then it introduced meta horror.
Exactly.
To the mainstream. It spawned so many...
Oh my gosh. So
imitators. And it's almost impossible, right?
It is.
To recapture that...
Yeah.
That groundbreaking impact.
Especially...
Decades later, when the horror landscape has been so shaped by Screams.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me see.
It's like Scream 5 had this impossible task.
It really did.
Right, satisfy those diehard fans who were just craving that nostalgic thrill.
A nostalgia for sure.
But also to a new generation of horror fans who might not have
the same connection.
The same connection to the original.
The original, right. Yeah. So it's tough.
It is tough.
And I think that's where those mixed reactions come from.
Right.
Some viewers wanted something totally new.
Yeah, like a radical reinvention.
Reinvention, exactly. And others just wanted a solid Scream movie.
Right, just another good.
That honored
the legacy, right.
Right. So...
But you know what? One thing's for sure.
Okay.
Scream 5 reignited interest.
It brought it back.
In the franchise.
It did really well.
It did well at the box office.
The box office.
It proved that
there's still a huge appetite for Ghostface in Woodsboro.
And that led to Scream 6.
It did.
So
it kept it going.
It continued those storylines, right. And those themes that Scream 5 introduced.
Exactly. So
regardless of the critical debate,
I think
it
did what it set out to do.
Its main goal.
Yeah.
Bring the franchise back to life.
The franchise.
And I think that's worth celebrating.
It is. In a world of endless reboots and remakes.
Right.
It's refreshing.
It is refreshing.
To see a franchise come back with a clear purpose.
Yeah, with a purpose.
And a desire to honor its roots.
Right.
But also evolve with the times.
So, as we wrap up.
Okay.
Our deep dive
into Scream 5.
I want to leave you with something to think about.
All right.
How does the film's exploration of toxic fandom resonate with you in today's world?
That's a good question.
We've seen this rise of these passionate
online communities,
right?
Right.
And while most are positive and supportive,
of course,
there are times when that passion can take
a dark turn.
A darker turn.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a reminder.
It is.
That even in the world of entertainment and fandom, it's important to maintain perspective. Respect,
yeah.
And healthy boundaries.
Healthy boundaries, that's important.
The line between admiration and obsession.
It can be blurry.
It would be blurry.
And Scream 5.
Scream 5 serves as a cautionary tale about what can happen.
When that line
is crossed.
It is crossed, exactly.
It almost asks, are we, as fans, becoming the villains of our own stories?
It's a chilling thought.
It really is.
But one worth pondering, I think.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, as you engage with your favorite fandoms. Remember the message of Scream 5.
Be passionate.
Be passionate. Be engaged.
Be engaged,
But above all, be respectful.
Be respectful. That's key. So with that, we'll conclude our deep dive.
Our deep dive into Scream 5.
Scream 5.
We hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, we hope you had fun.
This exploration of the film.
So the themes, the characters. And the lasting impact. It's a great film.
Until next time.
Yes.
Keep exploring.
Keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
Keep questioning.
And keep diving deep.
Keep diving deep, everybody.
Ha 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 ha!